But I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress, and now it doesn't. It's incredible, actually.
I don't. What? What? It's a good thing that a foreign power has total control over our Congress. That's not a good thing. It's like this is almost the perfect encapsulation of the Donald Trump presidency, because it's like Donald Trump comes out and says Israel has total control of Congress, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, it's amazing that he said that. You're not supposed to be allowed to say that. Like, people aren't supposed to say it. Everybody knows it's true, but you're not allowed to say it. So it's like, wow, Donald Trump says it. He says Israel has control of Congress, but then he's like, and that's a good thing. And it's like, what? No, it's not.
Yes, sir. This is what we need. We need a Biden quote book for Christmas, and by quotes I mean what the F did he just say? And we also need a Jared Kushner evil elf on the shelf style. I think that would be a giant seller. I'm talking. I mean, you guys might have to give me a kickback on that one. That one's a gold mine right there.
Kushner, evil elf on the shelf. I love the Biden quote book idea. I think that is hysterical. I'd be surprised if someone hasn't already done that already. That is a gold mine waiting to happen.
And then I got one more. It's going to go against your guys' grain a little bit, but we're doing a Donald Trump head on a snake body, put a little Christmas hat on it. You press the button, and he recites that snake poem that he told everyone right before he rolled out the Operation Warp Speed.
Oh, brutal! Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure our audience would go for that, but it is clever.
I think they would, man. I think tying everybody to this guy by calling everybody is the total wrong message. We only voted for this guy because we had no other choice. You know what I mean? Once again, I use the analogy: the box of poop telling us to pull out a chocolate donut. You know what I mean? This guy's a piece of poop too, man. You know what I mean? In my opinion, we got to get rid of the presidency. Government should be a civic duty. Go in for 4 years, serve your country in and out. That's it. Common man held accountable. If you mess up, you want to trade, you want to be treasonous, you want to do something that directly affects the American people, guess what? Get in big trouble. Big trouble. Not like these guys that just get to go right off into the sunset. You know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah, I get what you mean. And look, obviously, Donald Trump, massive disappointment for me personally. I always use the analogy or the metaphor of he was the manager of the store for 4 years, and during that time we had record sales, and the store was great, and it looked like he was really turning things around. But by the time he left, the store had been burned down and turned into a concentration camp run by communists. So how good of a job did he really do at the end of the day? I've expressed my disappointment in that. But, I still don't think he was a snake. I don't think he was dishonest in saying what he said. I think he was up against the most powerful cabal the world has ever seen that turned all cannons towards him and, devastated his chances. But, this newest video from Trump, it's made me question everything, really. I'm going to go ahead and play it right now. Clip number 7, because here was Trump on a radio show earlier today. And I'll get your comments on this, BS Assassin. Here's Trump, or I'm sorry, it was yesterday. He was on the radio show saying Israel doesn't even control Congress anymore, as if this is a bad thing. Let's watch.
Well, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And today it's almost the opposite. You have between AOC and Omar and these people that hate Israel. They hate it with a passion. They're controlling Congress, and Israel is not a force in Congress anymore. It's just amazing. I've never seen such a change. And we're not talking about over a very long period of time. But I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress. And now it doesn't. It's incredible, actually.
I don't. What? What? It's a good thing that a foreign power has total control over our Congress. That's not a good thing. It's like this is almost the perfect encapsulation of the Donald Trump presidency, because it's like Donald Trump comes out and says Israel has total control of Congress, and it's like, Oh, wow. Yeah. It's amazing that he said that. You're not supposed to be allowed to say that. Like, people aren't supposed to say it. Everybody knows it's true, but, you're not allowed to say it. So it's like, wow, Donald Trump says it. He says Israel has control of Congress. But then he's like, and that's a good thing. And it's like, what? No, it's not. It's not a good thing that a foreign power has total control over our government. How could that possibly be a good thing? So it's like, this to me is kind of the perfect encapsulation. Well, what do you think, BS Assassin? That it's like, you think he's on the right track. You think like, wow, he's exposing foreign control of our government. But then he's complaining that they don't have control over our government anymore. It's like, I'm not on the side of AOC. I'm not on the side of 𝐒𝐲 𝐓𝐻. I think they're special ed. I think they're not smart. I think they are socialist tools that are destroying our country. I despise them. But I don't like Israel, and I don't support Israel. And when it comes to Israel, I'm generally on their side. So I just don't even know what to think anymore, BS Assassin. What's your opinion on what you just heard?
Well, Donald Trump, when he has an arranged marriage with his daughter to a son of Israel, you know what I mean? You would think he would say that, and he always has the evil elf on the shelf standing behind him, making sure that he does Israel's bidding, or not even Israel. We shouldn't even go there, because it's really just a group of powerful people from the age of kings and queens, and they all just figured out how to control all of us and to keep us distracted, because, in my opinion, all these world leaders are all in on it, every single one of them. And every move that they make, they already have life extension. Life extension is through blood. It's all about blood. All the vampire movies, all that stuff is true. And what they do is they see how far they can push us as a society to prove to their kin that we are less than human. All this experimentation, all this injecting stuff, it's all to prove to their kin and to themselves that we are cattle, and we will put up and do anything to ourselves and to our children. They take their children and go, look what these people do to themselves. Look what they do to their children. And then they proceed on and on with the power structure. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like that guy that we played a lot yesterday, saying like, we are going to be gods. Like, we are making ourselves gods now, and obviously not everybody can be gods. So a certain select number of people will have godhood granted to them. In other words, immortality. Life extension technology is granted to them, but not everybody can have that. So you got to establish a structure that allows that. But it's just it's just like, Donald Trump's come out and said of Jared Kushner that he supported Israel more than he supported America. Like, Trump said that about Kushner, and yet here he is saying, oh, it's such a shame that Israel no longer has total control over our Congress. It's just bizarre. It sort of leaves you going, all right, I guess this is the choice we have to make, BS Assassin. We're either with the anti-American, anti-white, extremist, socialist, communist, agitators like AOC or 𝐒𝐲 𝐓𝐻, or we have to be okay with being the subjects of a foreign power and essentially the serfs of our feudal lords across the ocean. Like, that's the dichotomy we've been left with. Those are the choices that we have, apparently. And frankly, I don't want to choose either one of these sides. So, I don't know where we go from here. But thank you for the call, BS Assassin. Very good as ever. Let's go.